Welcome to Gimme 5 minutes with Fort Smith City Director Neil Martin, where we talk about the events that happened last week and we look ahead to what's going on this week. So let's go ahead and get after it. Gimme 5.
Hey everyone, that was my 16-year-old daughter Lily. She produces Give Me 5 every week, so I wanted to thank her for all her efforts, and we put her in front of the camera instead of behind the camera this week. Let's talk about our meeting last week. It was a voting meeting on January 3rd. We talked about a number of different things. We approved some rezoning requests for new developments out in Chaffee Crossing and did some other things, but probably the biggest item of discussion was related to establishing fees for selling animals within the city limits. Basically, there's an ordinance that says you cannot sell animals from a car or from a parking lot, things like that. So that's going to start being enforced, but there was discussion around fees and other things. What ended up happening is we tabled this item to the first meeting in February. And we did that because there's some language that needs to be tightened up. For instance, if there's a hardship situation where someone can no longer take care of that dog and they need to give it away to someone, that is subject to a fine, according to how the item was written. And so we want to make sure that we clean that up. For instance, we have a dog, a golden retriever named Risby, and he was given to us because the owner couldn't take care of it. So in that situation, that owner would be fined for giving us that dog. So we want to try to clean some of the language up and get it ready. But we didn't want this thing to wait for months and months and months. So we said specifically, we want this to be ready for the board of directors, that first meeting in February. So that'll be coming. A lot of discussion around it. I encourage you to go watch the meeting to understand some of those items that we discussed. The other, probably the biggest item, the thing that has gotten a lot of attention, is the flag display at the Riverfront Park. Down where the skate park is, the river trail is. So flags were taken down. There's a big lawsuit. This was to put flags up, and this would be the United States flag along with the flags of our armed services branches. And one of the things that I made a motion to do is to make this where only the board can change those flags. Not the city administrator, not someone else, just the board. So the board has control of those flags. I felt like we're in a situation where this was a hot button topic, hot button issue, and we wanted to make sure the board was the one making that decision, not someone else. So that was agreed upon. The change to put the flags up and the approval by the board was 7-0. But it was 6-1. Director George Katsavis was the one that voted against it. But it was unanimously it was approved 6-1. Everything else was unanimous on the board meeting. So we were in common agreement on most of those things. We just had quite a bit of discussion around them. So it was a good meeting and a lot of good items. I'd encourage you to go to fortsmithar.gov. Hover over government, click on board of directors meeting information. There you can see the full agenda. You can look at previous meetings, or you can watch the meeting or any previous meeting. This Tuesday, we have a study session and three items on the agenda. First is kind of regular business, assembling and organizing the governing body. There's nothing new or earth-shattering there. The second item is discussion of water leaks. And if you've heard me or if I've talked to you, water leaks is one of the most frustrating things for me, and I know it is for you too. We're going to get an update on the status of those water leaks. We've got city staff that are fixing water leaks. We've got a contract with Forsgren that's fixing water leaks. So I look forward to hear progress on our water leaks around the city. And then thirdly, and I would like your feedback on this. This is a discussion around our neighborhood ward meetings. You know, we do those every quarter. They're in various areas around the city, but there is such little attendance. We've got to do something different. I would encourage your feedback to help us figure out a better way that we can engage citizens around the city to talk about issues that affect them and really to share information. So We're going to be talking about that on Tuesday, but I would like your feedback prior to that. So respond to this post or put a comment on this post. Send me an email at neil.martin@fortsmithar.gov. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to figure out a way that we can engage the citizens better rather than how we're doing it today. So I look forward to hearing your comments there. That's it for this week's Give Me 5. I hope the information was informative and made you better aware of items in front of your board of directors. We'll do this again next week on Give Me 5.
Welcome to Give Me 5. Well,